Do you have any questions about psychotherapy or anything you want to ask me?
Psychotherapy is just like, is that not like kind of like just therapy? No, I don't know.
I
I
meant,
don't
I
know.
meant I'm a psychotherapist versus a physical therapist.
Oh, okay, okay,
Your
okay.
feelings. What's
Okay.
your name,
So
by the way?
I'm Yuri.
Yuri. Good to meet you. I'm Seth.
It's very nice to meet you too. Okay, I have a question.
Go for it.
So I was born male,
Mm-hmm.
and I have been undergoing, transitioning.
Hmm.
One would say. Do you? I hear like a lot of transitioning does do a lot to somebody who is trans.
Yeah.
Like I would like to know a bit more about that
Okay. So,
because I've never like done estrogen, anything like that. But
oh,
I've like heard like once you start, you can't really stop and stuff like that. So
understood. Um, I am not a medical doctor, so I can't speak to you about what physically might happen, but I can talk to you about some of my trans clients or what it's like, what it may be like psychologically for you. Can I ask you a bit about your experience? Would that be okay?
sure.
Okay. First of all, how old are you?
I'm 21.
Okay,
I turned 21 on the 8th.
got it. And how long have you been out as someone who's trans female?
I would say like 2, 3 years, maybe.
Okay, so you've been living.
It's kind of barely like started.
It's what?
It's like kind of barely started me like ongoing this journey.
Oh, so were you living as a boy up until uh, 19, 20? Is that
Um, okay. I grew up in a household that was very like if you're were born boy, you should stay one.
hmm
Um, but since I was young, like I never played boy characters. You know, like whenever you grow up and you play like pretend and house and stuff like that. Like I always chose to be like, oh, we needed an older sister,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I would always do that. But a lot of people would always say like, "You sound so feminine." Like
Mm.
it's low key, like we don't see you as a guy. Like friends I'd make online and stuff too, and I would just tell everybody like, just call me whatever. Like whatever feels comfortable, just say it. Because at the same time, I really didn't know either.
Hmm.
But that's kind of it.
Okay. Um, though often kids, especially gay boys, will play dress up, will pick the feminine character in the when you're playing with the friends, that they'll enjoy sort of dipping into that role, that you have more feminine qualities or you're more comfortable even doing it maybe than some of the straight boys would be. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you're trans.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious what that leap was for you from I assume, I don't know, but did you identify as gay before you were trans female?
Yes.
Okay. So what was the leap from I'm a gay boy to I'm a trans female, which is a huge leap to make?
Um.
Was their body
So
dysmorphia as well while you were growing
it
up?
it was a bit of that. At the same time, I always like had told myself if I did transition, I would still kind of like to keep more of a small chest. I wouldn't want so much of a big, beautiful female body. But I think that also just goes with my size. Of I think it would look kind of weird with me.
You mean that you're petite
But
and it will look strange to have giant boobs on a petite
yeah,
frame? Is that right?
yeah,
Just proportionally, it didn't make sense.
yeah. Um, but when I was like 18, I came out. It was a bad coming out. Like
Oh, I'm sorry.
it was not. It was like it was just tears while coming out, and it probably should have been more on a calm day. Um, I after that, I've like lived with my sister for a bit. I lived with my parents too. Like my parents didn't kick me out or anything,
Mm.
but I've always kind of lived with my sister because like we've kind of stuck together.
Mhm.
But when I lived with her, I was really able to touch more into my feminine side. I've always been feminine, but when I lived with her, it was more like I actually wore a lot more makeup and I let my hair grow out and I'd wear hair extensions and stuff like that. Um, and I just would think like, oh, like this is fine. Like there's gay guys who could do this. And then it just started kind of going into like,
Mm.
I don't know, like I don't like looking feminine and just expressing how I want to look and still be getting called like him,
Oh,
her, I mean him, he. And then it was kind of more like, oh, like I kind of like when people say like her, she, and things like that. Like my boyfriend, I cannot have him call me like anything masculine because I'll be like, ew. And he'll say anything feminine. And I'm just like, it just sounds better.
it does. And but your boyfriend fell in love with you as a boy.
Um, yes.
Your
It was
boyfriend
kind
is
of
gay,
that was like
or is he bisexual?
my boyfriend is, I think he call it pansexual.
Pansexual, fine.
Um, the whole, can I be honest, the whole LGBTQ thing sometimes gets me confused myself being part of it. Um,
Well, that's because it's redefining itself.
yes. And
And if people could be
I'm
more open to the ideas of it is redefining itself and less judgmental and more open to even giving you the opportunity to question if you're trans and what that means. And let me be clear, I have zero agenda. I am not in any way saying that you should or should not be, but I do think it's always important to question huge things like this, which is like,
mhm.
first of all, you should question everything, right? I'm a therapist. Like when you sit down in therapy, like let's explore why you feel this way, where this thing came from, whose value system is this. All of these things are so important as we start to understand who we are in the world and why we even think the way we do. And sometimes we discover, oh, I actually never questioned that thought. I just assumed that's how it was. And so
Yeah.
I'm doing the same for you, but I want you to know it is not agenda oriented at all. That's why I'm
Yeah.
asking. Okay. And the reason why I asked about your boyfriend was I was curious if your boyfriend identified as gay or bi or pan, or if he was gay and now is having to adjust to a partner who is
Mhm.
saying that she is trans and therefore also wants to get go on hormone replacements with estrogen and possibly have surgery, which does change a dynamic in a huge way.
Mhm. Um, no, he met me. It was kind of weird because I was growing out my hair still. I had like hair to here. And it was like I was in between.
Hmm.
And he likes male and female, so I guess it was kind of a double win for him. Um, and I think that's what kind of gravitated him towards me more is
Yeah.
it was kind of like two in one package. Wow, what a deal. Um, but yeah, I've like told him like a year into the relationship, like, oh, I think I am like trans, and I think yeah, like it just fits me more. And he's always just been like, I would support you no matter what, like no matter what, you're still my partner,
Great.
male, female,
So
anything.
you have a partner who's open to the even the exploration or you figuring out where you go and wherever it is you go, he seems to love you regardless.
Yeah.
What a lucky thing to have. That's a very nice
It's
partner to have.
yes.
So let's talk about your journey. I mean, one is I want to be able to answer your question the best I can, but again, I can't speak to anything medically that might happen.
Mhm.
But what is important to me is what psychologically might happen. But in exploring that, I want to explore even the whys of doing it, what it is you're exploring, and also speak to you about maybe um, being open, just as you were open to the different LGBTQ journey that the world is on as we start to redefine
Yes.
things. That for you to be open to the experience you might have either way, and not to get caught in doing the same thing, which is I've grabbed onto this identity, and now I'm stuck. This is what it is.
Yeah.
So, so you have felt more comfortable growing out your hair, playing with your femininity. Do you think that being a boy, you can't play with femininity in the same way?
No, I think with being a boy, I really like I loved it. I loved
Mhm.
for a while it was like I love seeing boys who are identifying themselves as boys with long hair and
Yeah.
beautiful makeup and stuff like that. Um, for me, it was kind of like I thought that's how it was for me, but then at the same time, just the label of like, I don't know, not label, but just being identified as like, oh, you're a boy wearing makeup, you're a boy having long hair. It was just kind of like, hmm, that doesn't sound right to me. Like, It just didn't.
Yeah, I wonder. It's interesting because what happened was the label didn't feel right. But I'm curious if the expansion of definition would help. I think about this all the time with clients, but especially with clients who are uh, not gender conforming or who are trans or toying with the idea of being trans, which is, are we so societally bound by what these definitions are to even be a boy and a girl that you're being a boy, I say boy before being a man, I'm talking about when you're still, under 18 as a boy, that the way you acted in the world didn't meet the criteria of the way most boys were. Therefore, you have to be something else. And I'm wondering if one would be helpful if the world would just be able to expand the definition of what it is to be a boy so you're not so
Hmm.
locked into that. Or does it go beyond that idea for you?
Well, I guess usually people are raised like boys are very masculine and they don't do a lot of feminine things, which I was raised that way. But when I hit like middle school, I kind of like got into my own mind and thought of like, well, I think anybody can kind of do anything. Like, if I wear makeup, it doesn't make me any less of a boy. If a girl is doing blue collared work and has a crazy short haircut, it doesn't make her any less of a woman.
Right.
So I don't think it was like really like that.
Okay.
Like of like, you know, just because this is this way doesn't it didn't make you feel like a boy or a girl.
Sure. Okay. So you were more open to the definitions of it. So for you, what
Yeah.
you're saying is it just felt like boy didn't make sense for who you were. That you feel like, do you feel like a trans female or a female?
Um,
Is there a difference?
can I be honest?
Yes.
I hate this whole this is very like there you have like I've been like into the trans community a bit, and there's like this war between some of trans women thinking like if you're a biological woman, you have to call yourself cisgender. And there's trans girls that say, no, they're women. We're trans women. And I believe that too. I think there's nothing wrong with showing pride of being a trans woman. I
Yep.
don't think why anybody should be like, I'm not a trans woman, I'm a woman. You're trans and you should be proud of that. That's something that you get to carry on is I found out who I was and I changed that. I made sure I was who I was. And I don't think we have to force somebody to have a title that they were not ever meant to have. They were just a woman. She was born a woman. We were born men, sorry to say.
Why?
And we've transitioned.
It's an interesting idea that you should feel sorry to have to say that.
I think saying I'm a trans female, I'm a female, or I'm a trans male, I'm a male, yes, you're it's true to an extent of I'm a trans female. I will not be able to do things that most females can do. Have periods, birth their own child. But that's okay. It's honestly it could be a curse, yes, because I can't have my own, child come out of me. But
Neither can I, and I think it'd
um
be so
I
cool.
don't have to worry about that pain. I don't. And it's a blessing and a curse. But what I just think is yes, you can say I'm trans female, I'm a female. Yes, because you're identifying that way.
Mhm.
But I don't think we should force somebody who hasn't changed anything from their lives. This shouldn't have changed to have somebody have to call themselves, oh no, I'm cisgendered female. She's just as female as you are, but I'm sorry, sometimes even more because she's able to do what a biological female can do.
It's interesting. I ignored that statement in my, sort of trying to make sense of this, what you were saying and explaining my own feelings. I missed the part of it, which was exactly what you brought up, which is trans community telling females that the only way they can identify now is cisgender female, not female.
Yeah.
The way in which they need to identify, correct?
Yes,
And it's
Of course I watch a lot of trans women fight against other trans women saying like that's not right. You're putting a bad taste on our name.
Mm.
just because your ignorance wants, like, your ignorant self wants something that only you want, and you think other people should do it. And I don't think it's really sad to see that a lot of the trans women that, or trans men, not just trans women, but trans community that goes popular public and catches the eye of the public
Yeah.
is usually the ones that are dragging our name down, and not the people who
Mm.
you would see actually speaking more of our truth.
Hmm. So, do you think your opinion is more of the truth? What I said, which is, it feels like the community, that the louder voices aren't necessarily the majority voice.
I sometimes think so. Of course, there is some people that, some of the voices are heard that are the majority and are the people who just aren't ignorant. I'm sorry, it's a lot of, it goes with straight people, it goes with the whole LGBTQ. A lot of people are ignorant, and a lot of ignorant people these days are getting a platform. But there is sometimes people who will put their selfish needs or their selfish thoughts, who have an open mind and can just speak, and they will also get their platform. And I just think we need to focus more on those people. Straight, trans, gay, lesbian, doesn't matter.
Do you think
At the end of the day, we're all human.
we are all human? Well, do you think that part of it is that you need to be political? Like, it's interesting. We're discussing this thing that has to do with how you're feeling and what that experience is going to be like for you emotionally and physically. And again, we found our way into politics. It's interesting how it's so politicized.
Hmm.
Even you and I are discussing like what this means. What does this mean for society? What does it mean in terms of the political infighting and the the outside world viewing this a certain way? It's such a political piece.
Yes. I feel like a lot of things become political,
Hmm.
especially when it comes to like personal human feelings or just traits, feelings of, you know, the LGBTQ, sorry, I speak really quickly, so I stumble a lot.
Sorry.
Um, Feelings of, liking the same gender, that becomes political because everybody has their own, how do I say this, their own input on it. And people also take that personal,
Mm,
and it becomes a worldwide thing where people have debates about it. I'm never really someone who looks at political things. Like,
mm.
I've never, my whole life, I didn't. Am I okay to say any bad words, or should I maybe substitute? I've never given a fuck about political things. I've never watched the news. I just lived in my own like la la land with my cousins and family, doing my own thing.
Where do you live? Do you mind me asking?
Um,
If you're not,
I lived
tell me.
I lived in Texas,
Mm,
and then a few months, maybe like it's about to be a year now,
mm.
I moved here to Idaho.
Wow.
I came here because my boyfriend had a better job.
Are those tougher places to be trans? I don't know where in Texas you were, and you don't have to tell me, so you don't have to say it, in case I.
Um,
But was it tougher in those towns that you were in Texas, and then the one in Idaho to be trans?
so I lived in Midland, Odessa, Texas,
Mm,
and it was never really bad for me. It could be I wasn't. I usually a lot of my time I had my hair grown, and when I did look very boy-like, um, at the same time I had a feminine voice. So even when I had like a boy haircut,
yeah.
um, some people still thought I was a girl. Most of the time, my first job, I worked with my friend, Mexican restaurant. I don't know Spanish. All they knew was Spanish. They thought me and my best friend were lesbians.
Mm,
So I was like, oh, I think they think I'm like a masculine lesbian.
yeah.
But maybe I think it is, I wasn't the typical gay that people saw, which was like boys in crop tops and like wear making wear makeup out a lot
Yeah.
and stuff like that. More of like The James Charles look is a more popular
Right. Although there
gay
are
person.
plenty of gay people that don't go out in makeup and don't wear crop tops.
Yeah.
That's not the majority of the gay community. But you're saying that you were in a world in which most gays were more feminine or presented so and enjoyed playing with makeup and.
I feel like that's when it started. When I more came out, that's when it started being more normalized
Mhm.
to be gay. I never had a problem. I think in middle school I had like a guy be like weird to me in middle school.
Mhm.
But I lived my life like going to house parties and being so accepted, a lot of the guys flirting with me knowing that I was just a gay boy prancing around.
Yeah.
And it wasn't hard. I moved over here and my mother was like, if people are weird, please move back. Like it can be scary. And I've been out here. I've never gotten any looks, but my boyfriend has told me like even it's a big Mormon area.
Mm.
No matter what, I dressed very revealing. I've always have.
Uh,
And he was like, no matter what, you're probably going to get looks because it's so new.
yeah.
So I've kind of had that in the back of my mind. So I don't know if it's they look at me like, oh, you're, let me not say that word, queer, or it's, oh, you look like a hoe.
Right. That they may be staring because they just think you're a woman wearing risque clothing in a place where most people don't.
Yeah,
Mm.
I'm not gonna try to toot my own horn and be like, because I look so feminine and I could pass as a biological woman, but most of my life I have just been called woman by like when I went to go get my ID picture taken, they were just like, "Yes, ma'am," like, "Yes, woman," and just like my mother was like, "This is my son." Like just before like I started thinking like, "Oh, like maybe I am trans." Like the thought came into my mind.
Yeah.
So I was still just like this little gay boy, but it always like made me
Mm.
smile just to have people be like, "Yes, ma'am,"
You
and
enjoyed
stuff
it.
like that. So
So you're going to start with hormones. You've never
I'm
done
thinking about it.
it. Okay.
I would like to see okay, I already struggle through some mental things. It's bad. I had never gone to therapy and I've been told I have a sister who has BPD
Mm.
and she's like borderline schizo and she's like sometimes it's like I think you have like BPD and like I genuinely think you need to get checked on. My boyfriend tells me the same thing and it's really bad. I have bad moments where already I'll be happy and then 5 minutes later I'm crying and I'm thinking very suicidal thoughts. And it goes on through my whole day. I've openly expressed this to my boyfriend with I can look at something sometimes or I just like stare at things and I think like, oh, this is how I would end myself with this item.
Mm.
Um, something I faced a lot. So, I heard going through hormones and getting surgery and stuff like that also takes a toll on your mental health.
Yeah.
And I think to myself, I don't really need hormones. I'm fine being a trans woman. I don't need a mask. Being a trans woman, if I had a deep voice, I would rock it. Like
If you had
I would wear it
a
with
deep
pride.
voice, you'd rock it. Yeah. Is the suicidal always been passive? Have you had attempts?
Sorry, say that one more time.
Your suicidality, is it passive? Have you had suicide attempts?
I've had like a few, of course, especially when I was younger.
Mm.
Um, I drink now. I'm 21. I can drink. I've only drank since I was 21. But I've learned I can start feeling a lot of those feelings while I'm drinking, so I know when to stop and stuff like that too. It's
Yeah.
not as passive. I would say I've tried multiple times
Yeah.
and like I've told my boyfriend, especially like when I would find like certain things out in life, not just like, oh, I'm saying with my relationship, I found things out, but like just in life.
Mm.
And I've learned new things that maybe I haven't learned from the past. It's like a switch. I'll be happy, I'm partying with my friends, and then the next second I'm in a bathroom with practically a whole thing of pills in my stomach, you know?
So this is what your sister, I think, who's borderline, had said to you. Is that
Yes.
okay? So your sister is borderline. You said possibly some schizophrenia as well, but the borderline traits are the ones in which you're very black and white in your thinking. There's good and there's bad, and so as soon as you as soon as you get a piece of information, suddenly everything is bad. The world is bad, the person's bad, or whatever that is, and your reaction is actively suicidal. To you swallow pills, or you feel suicidal, or you start thinking about ways in which you could kill yourself.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's gotten better, which it's a line to say because I will say that and then the next week I'm like, "Oh my God, it's back." Um,
Well, it's not going to go away. The borderline personality is not going to go away because you feel better one day. The borderline
yeah.
personality disorder is one in which you can do work on it, but there's just skills that you need to learn to be able to help you. And when you no longer meet the criteria, you won't be borderline. You're not stuck with it forever. But it doesn't go away just because you're having a good day and you're feeling
Yeah.
better. You still have to explore all the things that are underneath it that caused you to become so reactive, to be so black and white in your thinking. Those things need some. Those things need therapy. That's the truth. Uh,
Yeah.
to be able to be worked on, to really be able to work, to be really be able to be worked on. Long term therapy is important. Also, DBT skills, and some of those you can look up and explore yourself. Dialectical behavioral therapy. I'm going to write down for you to look up DBT skills, grounding skills. Start finding ways to learning how to regulate. Oh, I'll send you my uh, this is my Instagram where I post videos where people ask me psychology questions. Or I actually just posted a trans woman on there who I spoke to on here. But those are really helpful because when you have those skills, at least you're able to know how to regulate yourself when you're feeling so overwhelmed. And you'll start to recognize, I know I'm overwhelmed right now. I know this isn't rational. This is how I immediately get, explosive, or everyone's bad, or I want to burn down the fucking village. But you'll be able to
Yeah.
tell yourself that, and then you'll have some skills that can help you regulate. So those skills are amazing to have. DBT skills are great. And they even help you when you start to go into therapy to work on some of these things because you'll have the skills to be able to regulate yourself while you're dealing with difficult stuff. And therapy's hard.
Yeah. I was like, I guess I have this bad like thought of therapy of like
Hmm.
I was told like therapy sometimes they might prescribe you with stuff.
They might,
And for a while like be like, "Oh, you might need medication." And I was just also scared of like my therapist judging me.
uh,
But I also have like a bad problem with opening up to people. It's something I don't do with my family. I've never done it with my relationship. So it's kind of like
I'll tell you why I smiled. I smiled because one, my question was, well, do you feel comfortable with me? Do you trust me? And then two, you have trouble opening up, you said, and yet here we are. I've just met you, a total stranger, and you've been open.
it's a weird thing that I do sometimes. I like I'm like I do have a bad problem with opening up to people. Like I do like to keep my secrets and keep my space. Like
Believe that.
I push people away a lot.
Mm.
But sometimes like somebody's like, let's open up to each other. And I'm like, okay. It's like so weird. It's so weird.
Well, that's
I
interesting.
do it sometimes.
Sorry, I cut you off. I'll finish my sentence. What I was going to say is that sometimes what happens is someone gives you permission. They say, let's open up to each other. Now it's like we're both in agreement that this is the thing we're going to do. So I have some safety to do it.
I forgot what I was gonna say.
I should have let you go
Um,
first.
no, it's okay. I think I was just gonna say like I do this like with my friends too. Like
Yeah.
I'll push people away and then the next thing I'm crying to them, telling them everything.
Mm. Well, you're looking to connect. You want to connect. It's difficult, but that doesn't mean you don't want to. Well, I
Yeah.
hope that you find therapy can be helpful. I do hope that you can find someone who you trust, who you feel comfortable with, um, who allows you to challenge yourself, to be challenged, uh, but also to be supported and have that space to start to understand yourself better.
Yes, I hope so too. It's been on my mind for a while, but I think it's time to start.
Good.
It was like my new thing. Once I turned 21, like on my birthday, I was like, I don't think this is gonna be like, oh, I'm 21, I can drink. I said, like, sat down and I was like, my health has been going like down, and I was like, I think now I'm gonna start going to therapy, going to the gym, and just working on myself.
It's great. I would say it's a much better choice than 21. I'm going to start drinking.
Yeah,
Well,
a
thank you.
lot.
Yeah. I'm glad I got to meet you. I'm glad we got to
I'm
talk.
glad I got to meet you too.
I enjoyed this. All right.
Well,
Take
thank
care. Of
you.
course.
You
Appreciate it.
too.
Thanks for opening up. Bye.